That is an awesome elixir right there. That will help you if you're feeling sick, the weather's cold out, if you're sitting in front of a fire. Fire one of these bad boys up and drink it outside with your friends, man. You'll have a great, fucking wonderful evening. Wow. Hey, welcome to Happiness Bar, where my goal is to share cocktails, content, and happiness. And today we're gonna be making a special cocktail for those of you out there that might be feeling a little under the weather as these seasons change and we're getting into the fall cooler months. We're making the Hot Toddy. Now the Hot Toddy is said to have some medicinal effects. It's supposed to help you when you have a cold. I think because of the honey and the lemon and the bourbon, I guess it's supposed to help. I don't know the science behind it, but what I do know is that it does make me feel a little bit better when it's a little bit chilly out and I want to sit by the fire and drink a warm bourbon cocktail. Just makes me feel all warm inside just thinking about it. All right, so I have a great Hot Toddy recipe. However, I want to play with it a little bit here on camera. I had some ideas earlier today, so we're gonna do a little rosemary and cinnamon Hot Toddy just to ramp up this drink a little bit more and really pull in some of those notes that'll just be so nice in some of these cooler months. So that being said, the build for our Hot Toddy is 2 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce of lemon juice, 1 ounce of cinnamon infused honey syrup, and 4 ounces of a rosemary tea we're gonna make right here. So we got a little bit of work to do to get this cocktail ready. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into the prep work. So the tools you're gonna need for your prep work today: you're gonna need a cutting board, you're gonna need a knife, you're gonna need a spice grinder, maybe a mortar and pestle, or just even a hammer, just something you can crush up the cinnamon with, just so it's not full cinnamon bark. You're gonna need a pot. You're also gonna need a citrus juicer. You're gonna need a scale or something that can weigh out grams. You're gonna need some sealable containers. And you're gonna need a bar spoon or something you can stir with. Now, the first thing we're gonna do for our prep work is we're gonna get making our rosemary tea. So let's grab our kitchen scale, grab one of our containers and place that on the scale. We're gonna zero out that scale and we're gonna weigh out 500 grams of water. Let's set that water aside, grab another container, place it on the scale, zero out that scale. We want to weigh out probably about 5 grams of rosemary. Perfect. Let's go ahead and throw our water into the pot. Let's also throw our rosemary into our pot, and we're going to want to turn that up to a medium-high heat. And we're gonna wanna bring that up to a boil, because really what we're doing is we're just gonna steep the rosemary into this boiling water, just like it were tea. Now, while that rosemary tea is going, I'm gonna grab my cutting board, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start cutting and juicing my lemons. Grab a knife, grab a few lemons, and I'm just gonna cut all my citrus as always, then juice all my citrus. A little quicker process. As always, guys, you're gonna squeeze your lemons. Now, I've shown you in a lot of these videos how to juice lemons properly. If you need a refresher on that, a little more detail, go ahead and check out the Bar Essentials playlist here on Happiness Bar. Oh yeah, I got a nice cut on my finger. Always a fun way to learn. All right, guys, once our lemons are juiced, we want to grab our basket strainer and double strain our citrus juice as always. Once, strain it through a second time. Grab some blue tape to label and date. Remember the shelf life on our lemon juice, guys, 2 days, throw it out on the 3rd day. We'll set that aside. All right, guys, that rosemary tea is just starting to come to a boil. Give it a little stir. Make sure that rosemary is infusing nicely. Take that off the heat, and we're gonna pour that rosemary tea into a container. Wanna make sure we get the rosemary in there as well. And throw a lid like halfway on it. Dry up what I spilled here. And we're just gonna let that sit and infuse for a few while we get our honey syrup going. And we wanna make sure that stays good and hot, guys. That's the whole point of the Hot Toddy, is that water is what's gonna heat that cocktail up. So if by the time you're ready to make the cocktail, if it's not hot enough, go ahead, throw it back on the burner, throw it in the microwave, and just heat it up to your desired temperature. To make our cinnamon honey, let's go ahead and grab our kitchen scale, grab a container, place it on the scale. Make sure we zero out that scale, and we're gonna weigh out 250 grams of honey. 250 grams, beautiful local honey. Now we're gonna throw that into our pot. Grab your bar spoon so you can scoop it all in there to make sure you don't waste any. Get it all. Got our honey. Let's grab another container, place it back on the scale, just re-zero out the scale, and we're gonna weigh out 250 grams of water. 250 grams of water into the pot. And lastly, we wanna weigh out 25 grams of cinnamon bark. So make sure you zero out that scale after you put your container on there. All right, 25 grams of cinnamon bark. Now we just need to get a coarse grind on the cinnamon bark, so we're not throwing the whole cinnamon barks in there, just so it really infuses nice. So I'm gonna try and just break these up. I'm gonna throw them into my spice grinder. Again, if you have a mortar and pestle, feel free to use that. Just start with that and just give it a little pulse. We'll just dump it in there as we go. Again, you could do this by hand with like a mortar and pestle. I've done it with even like a wooden bar mallet. This is just, a little easier if you got a spice grinder. A Mr. Coffee spice grinder. And that's a free plug right there, Mr. Coffee. Sound good in here, man. All right, that's all of our cinnamon, the 25 grams. All right, so we got our honey, our water, our cinnamon all in the pot. Go ahead and turn that power on, get it up to a medium-high heat. And what we're looking for is to bring it up just about to a boil. Wait till all that honey infuses or dissolves into the water. And you really want that cinnamon to infuse. We're gonna get a nice cinnamon honey syrup. Now, while that's going, you may want to strain out your rosemary. It really doesn't need any more than just like 8 to 10 minutes of soaking. So we're gonna strain that out. See the color on that, smells great. It's just gonna give you that little bit of rosemary essence in the cocktail. We might as well, while we're waiting for that cinnamon honey syrup as well, to just go ahead and preemptively grab our blue tape to label and date. Guys, I would say the shelf life on this is about up to a month refrigerated. All right, guys, that's coming up to a boil. We're gonna turn that off the heat. And we're just gonna allow that honey syrup to cool a little bit. Now, once that cinnamon honey syrup is cooled enough, you can grab your basket strainer, go ahead and pour the syrup through that strainer. All right, we got our lid. Let's put it on that honey syrup. That's it for the prep today, guys. Let's jump into making that rosemary cinnamon hot toddy. All right, guys, we're ready to roll. I got my lemon juice in this cheater bottle here just to make pouring easier. I got my cinnamon honey syrup here. We've got our rosemary tea here, and everything's still hot. That rosemary tea is still super hot. Even that honey syrup is still a bit warm, so it's just perfect. So this cocktail, I feel like most people usually build it even though we're not gonna use ice because we're gonna keep it hot. I'm gonna shake it. If you do shake this cocktail with a tin, guys, I warn you, grab some kitchen towels and put it at either end and shake like that, because the container will get hot. That hot liquid in the metal will get hot. I wanna shake it because I think it'll really just mix up the cocktail nicely and give it some nice body. So to start, I'm gonna grab my shaker tin. I'm gonna grab my jigger. And I'm gonna grab my beautiful glassware. What a cool glass for a hot toddy. At least I think so, man. So, always cheapest ingredients, the most expensive ingredients. So we're gonna start with that 1 ounce of lemon juice. Be mindful if your ingredients are hot, the jigger will also get a little warm, guys, so be careful. 1 ounce of our cinnamon honey syrup. 2 ounces of bourbon. 4 ounces of that rosemary tea. Be really careful here, guys. It gets super hot. So work quick with the jigger. 2, 4. Now, again, we're not gonna use ice, but what I'm gonna do just to add something in that agitates it, I'm gonna take the spring off my Hawthorne strainer, I'm gonna throw it in there. Pro tip, grab the large side of your shaker, no ice, close it down, and I'm gonna grab 2 bar towels here so I don't burn myself. Let's flip that shaker over. I'm gonna grab the top and the bottom, and we're just gonna shake for 12 seconds as always. All right, guys, 12 seconds. Careful opening it up. It might get a little pressure underneath. We're gonna grab spring back from our Hawthorne strainer. It might be a little hot. Be careful. No need to double strain this, guys, because there's no ice chips to strain out, so single strain is fine. And we're gonna pour that into our beautiful teacup. Garnish, throw a nice rosemary sprig in there. Get a little lemon peel action. Spritz on the cocktail. Let's place that down in there. And if you want an extra bonus, grab a cinnamon stick. Throw all those in there. Real pretty. There you have it, guys. The rosemary cinnamon hot toddy. Let's taste. Let's do it all fancy like with the saucer. Smells great. You definitely get that rosemary, that lemon, bourbon on the nose. Yo. That's a really awesome hot toddy. It's not too sweet. It's got great acidity on it. A little bitterness actually from the rosemary tea. Wow. And this is meant to be kind of a more over diluted cocktail with the 4 ounces of water added in. I know that kind of throws off our 25% ratio, but this is a cocktail where I think it's kind of the exception to the rule. It's meant to be more watered down, almost like a tea, a hot toddy, but it just sips so nice. It's so smooth. That bourbon really does still come through really strong. And the pairing of the cinnamon and the rosemary, man, that is an awesome elixir right there. That will help you if you're feeling sick, the weather's cold out, if you're sitting in front of a fire. Fire one of these bad boys up and drink it outside with your friends, man. You'll have a great, fucking wonderful evening. Wow. I don't mean to toot my own horn. I'm a little impressed with that kind of impromptu creation. Well, not creation, but impromptu little addition to the hot toddy. It really came out very nice. Very satisfied. I hope you all enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying it right now. Anyways, that's it, guys. That is the rosemary cinnamon hot toddy. Guys, I hope you're enjoying everything. Maybe you're making things along with me. Maybe you're writing them down, saving them for a later date. Either way, let me know how you're liking everything. Send me some comments. Please let me know. And guys, as always, become a regular somewhere. Become a regular at your local watering hole. It's the best way to support local business. And become a regular here at Happiness Bar by liking, commenting, subscribing. Hit that bell if you want notifications. We got cocktail videos coming out every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern to get you ready for the weekend. Stay happy, everyone. Ooh, chin chin.